So the sentence you might be reading this, isn't it common sense that we should know what is important for us and it should always be on top priority. But unfortunately, the common sense is not common practice. So many times we mix up our objectives, the work we need to do, and often the important thing is behind us and the unimportant things is ahead of us, in front of us. Just look at this, because some situations that are very common and maybe you may resemble some of them. You spend an hour on online window shopping while I know some important tasks are in queue. How this happens? You open your Outlook, mails start dropping, email drops off giving you some offer. You click on it, go to the website, look at the discount, start comparing with other products, do surfing here and there for comparing the products, and what happens actually, because I don't need this product right now, after some time I close the browser, wasting this all time. While in the morning itself I have long queue of work in front of me. On watching TV match, while couple of pending tasks are still waiting to be done. The whole week there is no time, so everything personal or everything which is of the office get stacked for the weekends. And weekends we have a match or we have some other training TV program. I get in front of the TV, but I stick to that. When I'm watching TV or the match, I still know that several things are pending. I know about them, but despite of that, I still continue with that. And many of those tasks will postpone for the next weekend. You might have observed in a day also the most important task which you should have done in the beginning of the day, but as soon as you come into the office, several interruptions come. Some people call, some customer mail come up, some senior managers mail come up. You start acting on that, and team members issues has come up. Several things will you find in front of you. Keep doing all those things, you find that important tasks supposed to be done in the morning itself is still not done. You open this when you are about to leave the office, but this task required some time, and so you need to extend your day to get this done, or you will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's work may be day after. Some of them you resemble, and there is no end to such things. When we enter into the office, the interruptions are so common that what you have thought of will come in front of you when all those things are done. But unfortunately, all those things, small transactions, things never go away. They are running after you even at home. Blackberries are really nuisance, but everybody has it. So look at how a manager spends a day. Emailing, attending phone calls, doing some follow-up. If I just add first three activities, your 50% of the day is gone. Then switch to client correspondence, some status reporting. Somebody will be telling that he needs a status report right away. Some data has to be provided in 1 hour, something maybe by the evening. There will be definitely some ad hoc request which will come either from the client or from some senior management or from some team member will come up and put something which need to be attended right away. Then there will be some meetings will be scheduled, and you may or may not be knowing that how much you come out with from this meeting. But still you need to attend it because you have been called and you are one of the mandatory ones. Many people do some multitasking. When they are in the meeting or in the call, they also do emailing. Okay, they can keep responding on the emails because our conscious mind work only on one item at a time. You either lose on the meeting or lose on the emails. Either you write some stupid emails or you ask, when the questions come to you, you ask what was the question. And all these things are bringing out all the interruption and emergencies, firefighting. Something is not delivered to the client is not happy with something. Somebody somewhere is not happy, or somebody need your urgent attention. So you keep attending those things. Important tasks are not in front of you all the time. So many small transactions that you were able to concentrate on one thing, and that thing never happens. That can postpone and postpone. So this will lead to a runaround dilemma. And what is this dilemma? It's very simple, that around all so many things in front of me, I don't know what is important for me. Because this is not known, I end up doing everything come in front of me. I'm really unable to filter it. I mixed up the parameters and the objectives often, and the things which are set or priorities which are set have changed today. In all those things, we end up doing everything. Other people see us doing everything, so they expect us to do everything. Doing everything keeps us so busy that we don't have time to think over what is really important for us. And because we don't know what is important to us, we end up doing everything. And this circular loop actually keeps going on until unless you break it, stop it, saying, let me think over it, what my objectives are, what will add value to me, what will add value to my organization, what will add value in the whole environment to my team and to my customer, and let me do that first. If that doesn't happen, this is the result of this roundabout dilemma, or handling too many transactions, emergencies, firefighting. Because the important work is not done, because the work which looks to me as important, most of them are actually urgent, not important, because their impact on me is not much, or on my organization is not much. They are very small trivia items. But I end up doing them, so I have to extend my day. Chasing deadlines, because deadlines are always on the next door. During this whole roundabout dilemma and running after all the things, I lose sight of the project and actually the objectives I set. There is no time for new initiative. You ask any new manager to start new initiative because it's getting too problematic, will say there is no time. There is no creativity because there is no time for creativity. The person has to be free-minded for some time to create some idea or something new. The strategy is a long-term issue, so when we have a lot of time, then we will strategize. Improvements, yes, a lot of improvements are required, but somebody else will do, because I don't have any time. Because there's so many work there, so there is no time for team. I fear giving delegation, because when in such a situation, I also expect my people will also do the same kind of work. They also handle some kind of transactions. When they are handling such kind of transactions, they are also so busy you see them disorganized, not so organized, you don't trust them really. Your boss may not be trusting me, or my boss may not be trusting me also, that's a different thing, but I also don't trust my team members, so I don't delegate. When I don't delegate, I keep everything in my plate. Because I think if I delegate, I have to support the person, I have to give the feed to the person. It's better I myself do it. So that work will always remain with you. Insufficient or no time for family, or the social life is always dying. I have seen several managers I keep talking to or keep meeting people who, and many of them open their they open their eyes with opening the laptop and close the eyes by closing the laptop. So where the social life, where is the networking? When some trouble will come, then who will going to help when I have never thought of helping anybody around? Or I have saved myself going there despite knowing there is a problem because I don't have time. Goals are moving because I am not able to meet them on time. Basically, I only act on them when they become urgent. At some point of time, they were not urgent, but now they have become urgent. I procrastinate on them, and they become urgent, then I attend them, and something else get delayed, then I attend them when they become urgent. And because everything is running on urgency, everything is, the day is long, at the end of the day, I don't find that something I have achieved. At the end of the day, when I look back, I see that nothing, I haven't done anything much. There is nothing significant I have achieved today. And it is an everyday story. And still several things are to be done. The life is stressful then. Several times when I conduct these trainings, the people come late and many people do not turn up. They say, why don't you turn up? Oh, there's lot of work in the project. So fine, but you can depute someone for a day for this training. No, I'm not there, then I don't know how to handle this. So the life is so tough. Everything is so dependent on us that if we fear that even if we are away for a day or two, not all the people, but many people are like that, feel that things will not go fine. The delegation is real big challenge. And because of that, too many things in my plate, I don't move them to other people. The life is really stressful. And because there is no self-management, managing other is a real challenge. Let me take you to this survey which I was talking about in my mail, which McKinsey did some time back, I think a couple of months back as such. And this is what has come out. They did this survey on the general managers and above. And this is how they categorized 4 people. They make 4 categories. They categorize in the 4 baskets, and one basket is called online junkies. So what is the online junkies? They are email lovers, and they keep talking to the customer. So what's important for them is talking over the phone, talking over the email, talking to the client, customer, but when it comes to the talking to the direct report, taking care of the direct reports, face-to-face communication, that's missing actually. So one side, a lot of time, but other side, missing out the time, because time is really a problem. The other peoples are opposite to this, called cheerleaders. They are always with the team. They're more on face-to-face communication. They take care of the team things, but when it comes to managing external stakeholders, the customer, client, and the senior management, other people, other vendors, they don't have any time, because all the time is gone in here. You will see that because the focus is not there, we end up doing what we find more comfortable. So some people are good on emails and talking to the client. They keep doing those things. Other things suffers. Other people are good in face-to-face communication, managing people, report to them, but they don't know how to manage their external stakeholders. So they continue doing what is comfortable to them. But that's not the winning situation. Winning situation is when we create a balance out of this. Now what happens with third people, the schmoozers? They are basically talkative people, keep talking all the time. They love to talk. They keep roaming around and talk to everyone. So that's the main objective, that's the main work, and everything else is suffer. So either it comes to strategies, it's come to like setting direction, it comes to responding to emails. You have to call them and say, please, I have sent you a mail, please respond. Okay, the phone calls, they will be on phone calls and keep talking over the phone calls. So talking is the main thing, but the good thing is that they have good relationship with the people around. But when it comes to the project really suffers. Last type of people are firefighters. They are very common in our people in the work around, because we are involved, we are surrounded with too many transactions and too many emergencies. These firefighters are actually the number 101. So these are the people who are called for every emergency, and emergency on this project, the firefighting, they extinguish this fire on this project, they will be called on other project, because by the time this fire gets extinguished, the other fire is started. So again dial 101 and call this person to the other projects, from other project to another project, and this person end up doing firefighting all around. When it comes to talk to their team, talk to the other people, and because they are always firefighters, they don't know how to make a plan, how to set the strategies. On the spun of this of the moment, they give directions to the people and expect people to act immediately, because that's what their habit is, because they act immediately because they work on emergencies. So if you see these four type of people, they are inclined on one side because they have a real skill on that side. But will this be a winning situation? If we see around, we will see the first type of people and last type of people, many around us. And this is basically I will say a notion of that we are not able to manage the multiple things in front of us. We will not able to filter out the things which are not important, which are not required to be worked upon, which need to be avoided, and end up taking everything in front of us, and the one side actually taken care of very well, but the other side actually suffers. While the winning situation will be when you able to manage on both the side and create a balance around it. When we talk about even work-life balance, it is not about giving more time to family and less time to office, or more time to office and less time to the home. It is about taking care of the things. It means I have a list to do the things. That list also contains the work from home. If something is expected by my spouse and I have to do it, because at home there is nobody who can pressurize us. I'm the king there. I can tell I will do it later till the time the things will really reach to a firefighting situation, and you do it. Actually, that creates the problem within your work activities. If you also address these activities, if you have a to-do list where not only your office work, also this important of the work which is at home also listed in that, that work will also rise in the importance and the priority, and will be taken care of before it move into emergency or the urgency. And you see that despite you spending even more time in office, you still manage to create that balance between life and work. The people live one life, they don't live two life at work and at home. People think like that, but it is not the way the mind actually thinks. We are one as whole. Our properties are one as whole. I remain same the way I am. My nature is same at home, at office. Only thing is that one place I am the king, other place I may not be the king. I end up behaving differently because there is somebody who can tell me to do something, while at home it may not be possible, or somebody has to fight with me. The danger here is that the children cannot force the father or mother to do something. And when it happens, the children will ask for something and you don't give. They will ask another time, you don't give, you don't have time. They cry, even you don't have time, maybe you can do something there. But after some time, because the children are very flexible, they are the community, children community is the community which can adopt easily in every scenario. They learn to live without you or without your help. That is more dangerous than actually they crying, because then they don't need you for the work they actually need. They learn how to get the job done without. So that is more dangerous. So thing is that we need to create a balance among all those things, have a list of important things in front of us, and not only the work thing, but also at the things at home. The expectation of my spouse and my children should also be there listed in the same list, so that they also rise in the priority at some point of time. Now, when we talk about all those problems, we need to think how the life should look like. So how it should be, like I try to describe that how the life should be. You should work overtime rarely. I will not say that you would never work overtime. There are situations in the life when you have to really do firefighting but firefighting should not be the way of the life. You must find the time for your team, because team is totally dependent upon you. Team needs lot of support. They don't need the lot of directions or the challenges. Manager often give lot of challenges to team, but when it comes to support them, they are normally absent. So that's what has to be avoided. You should be present to the team when team needs it. Only then the project will see the light of the day. Plan deadlines, not manage deadlines. So if you have planned deadlines, you know that how you're going to do the things in next 3 months or next 1 month or so. And all stakeholders are being communicated to set the right expectations. They don't expect early or later. Even if they expect, they will tell you well in advance. Should be objective driven, methodological and systematic. So there is a system on the place, and whenever there is a system not in place, the manager really identify that system, that place, that there is no system here. Let's put up a system here. More things you automate, more time you take out from 24 hours. So always the focus should be there is something which I can automate, there are things which are regular and can be done without attention. A simple example in the IT industry, I will say, suppose you have to you have to create a release to the customer. A process of creating a release to the customer is very, very straightforward and very, very repetitive. Every time you have to do the same. It should be as smooth as that nobody should take care of, no need to take care of such things. It should happen its own without any defect if a system could be put in place. But most of the time you will see the people struggle during the whole time coordinating among the various developers and designers and various people to build, to make a build of the software and deliver it. Even then it is defective. Prioritizing the task, keeping the objective in mind, means you have a to-do list. Many of you would be having a to-do list, but what is there in the to-do list? Is this to-do list contain only urgent items or the important items also? The important not necessarily be urgent and urgent not necessarily be important. Take decision through well-defined process and involve team. When you do not have time, you end up taking decisions without involving the team, because involving team take time. But that decision is normally perceived by the team as a imposition on them. That is that you are telling them, you are directing them to on this decision just to follow, because they are not involved. So they don't own those decisions. When they don't own those decisions, they less inclined to follow that or do minimum expected. Often focus on new initiatives, new thinking, strategies, creative thinking. So the thing is that what I was saying, that in the release process is very simple. If you find there is a problem, every time we struggle to build a release, we have to see that what improvement we can bring. Can we automate this? Can we have some system which automatically work? The people need not to be coordinated every time. Normally we blame it to the people that they are not organized, but basically whenever we do so, whenever we point a finger to the others, the three fingers are pointing to us, that we are also somewhere culprit in the whole scenario. We can do better. So if we do better, the other people will also do better. Delegate tasks to the team members and trust them. Spare time for the family and maintain the good network around the social network I am talking about. And calm even in crisis. Why the calm in crisis? Because we know we have a plan, we have a strategy. Therefore, we know even though the problem is today, but we can overcome it and can meet things. Maybe there will be some delay, but we're not going to like mess up with the things. And that's what give the patience to continue on that and meet the things. But how we can achieve this? That's an important thing. This looks like a tall order if things are in mass. What are the mechanisms to achieve this kind of scenario? How we will achieve this? There are very simple things which we need to ponder on, and I think if these things are taken care of, the order on the previous slide is really not tall, it's well achievable. Though life is a little struggle, you may struggle on something, but it will be much more organized struggle than the unorganized. So what we need to be done, that identify what's important for you. So first we should have a mechanism to always keep looking at it and identify, tick marks the things which are important for us. Only normally the work in front of you, hardly 10 to 20% is the work which is really important. Rest of the work is actually filling your day. It does not impact your organization or you that much. But we spend a lot of time on those things. Avoid endless urgent tasks. That's where the rest of the 80% actually fill. So there are so many interruptions, so many people work around, they keep giving up some work because they expect me to do everything. And everybody, because that is designed by, that is their dependency, they want you to do as soon as possible. They also show you that how urgent is that. Even though it is not urgent, there will be some urgent tasks definitely, but even though it's not urgent, because they are not very sure, so they keep always show you that this is urgent. And you get into this trap of urgent, lose out the sight of the important things. So we should have a mechanism always to filter this out. We have to give a stop to these urgent items. Some of those things has to go away, because many of those things, even you don't do, nothing going to happen. Write a to-do list that works. That works means this to-do list is created keeping the objective in mind, long-term objective, that is the 1 month, 3 month, 6 month objectives. Those tasks which will take you to this objective of 3 month to 6 month have to be there in the to-do list. Means a part of that will have to have. If there is a project for 3 months, if I do not do some work every day, I will never achieve it. So I have to see that what contribution I have to do today for this 3-month project. And that has to be in the to-do list. If it is not there, I will not do it, and definitely I will not achieve this in 3 months. Renew your energy with simple rituals. This is because our life is very hectic. It is necessary to take breaks, and whatever make you more comfortable, like taking a simple walk for 5 to 10 minutes, taking deep breath in and out, having a cup of tea with your friends and talking about something which is not related to the project or something outside, creating a social environment in the office all around so that you can get together for half an hour or so and come out from that continuous cycle of urgent and several items. And last is the most important, because your plate is too full, you have to empty it. And so delegate effectively. We should have a process of understanding how we should delegate to the people, how we identify the people who have potential, and then delegate and support them, so that maybe support takes some time, but after that you need not to bother about this task. This task will go away from your plate altogether. Okay. Where is that? Okay, let me see that is there any question on anywhere coming up. Okay. How to say no to a task assigned by your immediate boss and CM. Okay. This is an important, and this is the real challenging work as such. Now what you need to do is look at the work and see that when it is required. Because boss is important to us, so the work of the boss is also important for us. Everyone who is important for us, their work is also important for us. So if boss says something, we need to do. But the thing is that, are we able to justify the reasoning behind saying no should be powerful. I mean to say, should be justifiable. When you say go back and tell that you will not be able to do this thing because of A, B, C reason, because you have already have so many things, and doing this thing will impact the other things, definitely if you present the thing in this manner, I am sure that you can say no to the new task because you have already full plate. Let me say that this is a difficult than I'm seeing, because, and this is an art also. We need to learn this, that how to justify your things. You go and put your feet in your boss shoes and say, if somebody will be coming to me and explaining this, how I'm going to react on it. What should I would like to hear to say, okay, you give it this work to me, I will give it to someone else. So the justification has to be logical, powerful, and you should be able to present that if I do this and I do the other task also, the quality will suffer. And what is that will be suffer. So reasoning is very important. If you present the right reasoning, I think it is not such a difficult task. It is doable. and you can always say no. And I will say, if your plate is full and new task will come, you must say no. Go back, say that is already thing, I'm doing all these things, and if I do any of those things, I have to delay one of these tasks. Is this acceptable to him? Then it will be doable. Present the impact of the new work. And I think if this is not compromisable for the boss, he will take it back. Another question, how do we deal with email coming in while sitting in meetings? Oh, just close Outlook. Don't look at emails when you are in meeting. Okay, I will address this maybe a little in detail, but this is the best, or this is the only way to handle the emails, is that you don't look at your computer. And I will bring more points on this, because this is what we end up doing several times, that we are responding on emails and as well in the meeting. Okay, now let me move to the part that how we're going to achieve this, what I have to say, what to do. What are the tools and techniques available to us? Before we move to the tools and techniques, we always remember this 80-20 rule is such a big rule. It applies everywhere in all the places in the life. Either it is a quality work, or it is your own work, or it is a other work. Any place you go, this applies. And in your effectiveness also this applies. Your 80% of the result which really count are coming only from 20% of the efforts. And I'm talking about filtering out those 20% of the efforts and attending them. If it is not done consciously, I'm saying this 20% work really affect, and it will ultimately affect your most of the results. And how we filter out this 20% of the work? This is a simple matrix which is suggested by Stephen Covey. And on one side it's an important, on the other side it is urgent. So we have 4 quadrants here. One is the neither important, not urgent, the urgent but not important, the important and urgent, and the important but not urgent. Let's go one by one in this quadrant and see that what exactly happening. So when you do this and you before you do this exercise after this webinar, I will say you do this exercise. I will show you what to do actually. First, you create a list of tasks. What is this list of tasks? First, you write down all the regular work you do in a day, like how your day is occupied from sunrise to sunset. I mean to say from wake up to go to bed. First, do this. List down all the normal work. How do you spend your day? How much time is going in what activity? All regular stuff. Then you go and list down those activities also which are almost forced on you, because you cannot say no. Okay, some work which is you have to do because other people are telling you to do, because that's also going to occupy your day. Then you list down those tasks which you want to do. Want to do means some of them you would be doing and some of them you may not be doing. You want to do but you are not able to do that because you don't have time. I want to develop a new skill. I want to be more perfect on some of the things. I want to do some certification. I want to start a new initiative so that we are more effective. I see a lot of problems there. I want to do some improvement process there. I have to implement a continuous improvement cycle in my project. Several such tasks which always remain on our mind, but we are not able to implement them because we don't have time for them. But they remain on our mind because we think that they supposed to be done, they need to be done, and this is the need of the hour. But we keep delaying those things. So list down all those things as well. So now you will be having a all complete list how your day normally goes. What are the things which are urgent for you? You need to work on them, and what you need to do, what you want to do. All tasks are there, and then you do this exercise, filtering out what should go in the first quadrant, which is neither important and not urgent. Means what it will be? It will be basically a time waster, because it's neither urgent, it never demand your time, and nor it is going to contribute anyway. And just think over it, what are those tasks? What are those things which we are actually doing here? We end up doing such things. There are many. Some of them actually I listed in the second slide itself. What are those things? Those things are, watching TV is fine, but excessive TV is a little problem. Aimless surfing. You go wander around here and there, one after another, and product comparing is one of them. Is a real, because we don't buy product. After comparing, we shut down we close the browser, and we don't do anything. And after some time, we forget also about it. Too social means some social life has to be there, but too social means you are always on social. You are always liking on the Facebook, always updating the status, tweeting several things. So they are all required, but everywhere the excess is a problem. So excess is avoidable, so don't be in excess. And gossiping means talking too much actually, which does not make sense. So talking which makes sense is fine, but what if you are discussing too much of office politics and only talking about that, then I think you end up wasting time, which will not help you, neither you are required there. The second is basically distraction, and that is where the problem is. There are emails, everything come over here, which distract you from the main work you are doing right now. What are those things? A phone call. Now we have mobile, so anybody can ping us at any point of time and we have to pick up. We are having food at that time also, we pick up the phone, and on one hand we keep eating and on the other hand we keep talking, at least listening on the con call. So during con call we also have our lunch. So look at this, the calls, all kinds of alerts are basically distraction, because these alerts are mostly depend upon how other people are working. When my counterpart or my other friend think of sending a mail to me, depends upon that when I get my email alert. Okay, it is not set by me. I have not said, okay, I have to pay a bill, I will pay it after 6 o'clock. So pop this task at 6 o'clock so that I can complete all these things. That's the organized way, because that I have set for myself. But these alerts, phone is ringing, email alerts which flash on the right hand side and also do ping pong, that depends upon the other section. Many people are sending emails at their time, and they keep bothering you because you keep looking at those flash messages. Visitors, yes, you cannot avoid all the visitors, and visitors normally need to be attended because he's standing in front of you, so you have to attend him, leaving everything aside. But if you are doing some important thing, you can always tell visitor that, okay, that you will approach him after half an hour, 1 hour, or whatsoever. There is no need at that point of time, until it is really urgent, to attend him and do his job. There are several ad hoc requests which keep coming up from the client, from the other senior managers, from the team members. Everybody should be sending you several ad hoc requests, and everybody wants you to immediately attend them. So these are all distractions. We need to see how we can reduce them so that we stay concentrated on our work which we are doing. Now the third part is important and urgent. I will take up the questions a little later. Let me complete this matrix. The third part is basically we're talking about crisis. It's like a fire. If you do not extinguish it, it will damage a lot. So you need to, it's important because it create a lot of damage. It's urgent because you have to react immediately. But you are always doing firefighting, then you will maybe in trouble. So what are the things here? The fire, a crying baby is a simple example. You need to be attended immediately. A client has escalated something, need to be attended immediately. And some situation which you never expected has changed and it has a negative impact, then you have to immediately impact. So any kind of firefighting, any kind of burning issues come into crisis because they have an impact also. And you see that we get distracted because there are too many things falling into this quadrant. Let me tell you, if most of the time you are spending in crisis, there are higher chances of moving into this for relaxation. So you move from crisis to directly on the time wasters to get relaxed, because here every activity is very stressful. It needs your attention, it needs your time, it needs coordination, it needs talking to several people and planning on the spur of the moment and responding it and then managing everything. It becomes so stressful if you continue with there for a long time in this crisis. The chances that you directly move into time wasters because you want to relax. You want to do something which does not bother you. So this is not a good situation. This situation arises when we don't do this part, which is important but not urgent. It means it was important, but we delayed till it becomes urgent. So it becomes important and urgent. It becomes an emergency. If we are continue focusing on this quadrant, there will be less activity on the crisis portion. So when you have a list of tasks in front of you, you have to distribute that. You have to really put those tasks into different quadrants. What is the focus quadrant? Where our focus should be is, are you preventing things from being happening, like exercise or yoga? Everybody knows that this is the great thing. It will help us to keep fit, and to be effective in the life, we have to be fit. But how many of we do it? We are so busy, always opening the laptop and surfing on and roaming and like running our thumb on the BlackBerry, that we don't have time for exercise and yoga. And because it doesn't happen, we move. Sometimes we get ill, and there are higher chances of we get ill. And when we get ill is a crisis quadrant activity. Means you have to immediately go to doctor, stop everything else, and immediately attend it. Maybe in the hospital also if the situation is really worse. Many times we don't plan our vacations. Now when you are not planning your vacation, the vacation is a very important part. You are not in the office for some days is an important management activity, is an important management strategy, because then you build a system which sustain even without you. What will happen if you never be absent from the office? You never like taking vacations like for a week or so. People always expect you there, and everything depends upon you. And if you get ill because of not doing exercise or something, or not taking care of your health, you are on vacation. And that vacations are unplanned. Because they are unplanned vacation, they will be managed poorly. Because you will not be able to respond, and the person who is not prepared, who will be responding on the things, will definitely mess up somewhere here and there. Same thing is planning. If you do not plan, the execution have a lot of problems. If you do not have strategies, several risks will occur. What is a strategy? To foresight, going into the future and trying to see how things will happen, trying to figure it out if something hit us, or is something good happening which I can take as an opportunity and take advantage of this. Taking new initiatives. All these are the areas where we focus. If we focus on this area, less and less things will come in crisis. Less and less time will be left for time wasters. More we are inclined to remove these distractions. What does it mean? Removing distraction means when you are really doing work, you will not pick up the phone. You have disabled all your alerts. So when the mail will drop in your Outlook, you never come to know. What will happen? Somebody will be having some urgent item. He will call you. And you can put your your phone also in silence, but you can always look on that. If the person is not, if you are not pick up the phone and the person is really need you, he will call you once again. And if you get a call second time, and the person can bear you without you, then he can not call you second time, because he expect that when you see the missed call, you will call him back. But if you get the call second time, what will happen? You say that maybe it is an urgent thing, it requires my attention, maybe you can pick up the call. Otherwise, you just let it go. When you are done your job, when you over with your meeting, you can always call back. It is a very common scenario for me. I remain in trainings for the whole day and I don't attend any call. People keep calling me all the time. Whenever there is a break, I see which are the missed calls, I call them back. I never missed anything as of now. It never happened the person called me and then he say, okay, fine, yeah, nobody is picking up, forget about it. If person need me, he will always wait for me to respond back. You're talking about 2 hours meeting, I'm talking about 8 hours of day. I'm not responding. My emails are not responded during this time. I always, whenever I have a training program, whenever I have things, either I will use break to respond only on to very important things, or otherwise I will respond to all these emails after the session, that is in the evening. If there is a half day session, I will respond after half day. And all the calls will be and I tell you, this is more efficient way. The things which will disturb me 4 times, I will finish them in the next 15 minutes when I am done with my job. The same thing you need to do in your meeting. When you are in meeting, keep your email alert always off. That's my advice. That's I also do. There is no email alert. More alerts are there for me when I have set them to pay my bills, to take some actions. They all are set by me, set tasks, and they pop up at a particular time, because at particular time I normally take care of such things. So it's a matter of more organizing things. Does that make sense to you? Ad hoc request also be handled in the same way. When the ad hoc request will come, you look at your plan. See that if your ad hoc request put, how the plan get impacted. Advise the person who has sent you the ad hoc request that this is how, that is what the impact of the ad hoc request. Is this acceptable to him? I will tell you that lot of changes come in software industry, and client keep sending you changes without thinking that all these changes impacting the main schedule, main delivery. But all these changes are impacting the main delivery. until unless you go back and tell him that your delivery will be delayed if this has to be accounted. Is this acceptable? Or should we take up this ad hoc request later? Or you always keep some room for some ad hoc requests, because they will be so you do not allocate your people over 100%. Always keep them little low, especially your most important resources, most experienced resources, load them low, 80%, 75%, so that rest of the 25% they can take care of the things which are not there in the plan. You cannot plan everything. There will be something which will not be able to plan and which will not be in the plan. So keep some bandwidth for that. Don't load them 100%, otherwise they will be 120 or 125% loaded in that normal day. That apply to yourself also. And then you can handle your ad hoc request better. If you think the ad hoc request is little taking more time, you have to show the impact the customer back or the person who has sent the request, that is how other delivery will get impacted. And that is how you can remove the distractions or reduce it, actually, if you cannot remove them. Removal will be difficult, but you can always reduce them. Now, once you have done with this exercise, you have identified that what are the important things on which you can focus so that you should be better planned. You can always take care of your projects, your important things, either at office or at home. Your spouse is important for you, so his or her work is also important for you. Bear in mind that that has to also be attended. And because children do not complain much, and after that become habitual, they need to be attended first. Now, I will give you another matrix here. Once you are done with your important things, now important things are also having different characteristics. Some work, some usual work which you also have to do on a regular basis, which has low efforts but low impact. The impact is low and low effort. They are basically fill-ins. Low impact and high effort, it means the previous slide exercise has not been done properly. If some activity is dropping into this quadrant, it means we have not done the previous exercise correctly. So this quadrant need to be empty. This quadrant we are talking about, high effort, high impact, means the impact is high. Moreover, our life is running because of these projects. We are there for these projects. We need to plan these projects. The project will be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And how this has to be planned, like we need to see that what we need to do in next 6 months. So we have to plan it out. Then we have to find out what I have to do in first month, second month, third month, and fourth month, and 6th month. Out of the first month, what I have to do in the first week, second week, third week, and fourth week. In the first week, what I have to do on the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And that's how that small portion of this project will come into your to-do list of the day 1 and day 2 and day 3. Okay. Now, I will say you always keep some time for ad hoc or the crisis situation. So load yourself with important things only maximum to maximum 75, maybe 50% is fine. But they need to be taken care of. Then you have a crisis, and the rest of the time will go into time waster or the alerts, etc. Because you do not left with any time, your alerts you will less mind to your alerts, they will go down, because most of the time will go in attending your long-term goals, your important things. Now this quadrant is about winners, means your effort is low but the impact is high. For example, you decided that you have three clients, and you have planned this, okay, that out of these 4 weeks, every week I will touch base with the one client. So first week I will touch base with this client, second week I will touch base with this client, third week on this client, fourth week on this client. Now what will happen, this is a very low effort impact. You are just having an interaction with the client, but impact is very high because you sense where your things are going. You get feedback from your client, and you know that, and you have, before you actually deliver, you have time to correct the things if things are not right. If the perception of the client is not right, you will read this by interacting with him. Though it is a low effort job, but it is actually winners. It will make your projects really winners. So these winners are other things which are small, need to be planned continuously on a regular basis. They should be part of your important things, because they will really give you sensing your team, what is going on your talk. So you say, okay, half an hour every week or 1 hour every week, I will sit with my team and listen to them. You know, whatever problem we face, 90% of such problems we face, they were already known to the people at the bottom long ago. They're already knowing it, but nobody speaks because nobody speaks to them. If you sit with them, listen to them, most of this information will come in advance, and you can avoid all these problems, at least maximum of them. So this is a winner activity, that you spend 1 hour in a week with your team and just listen to them. Don't normally we talk and they listen, but I say that's not a winning situation. Winning situation is when you sit low effort, you need not to speak anything. So don't speak, don't put your efforts, just listen and see what they are saying. Maybe you can give some advice if you think, but it's a listening exercise basically. Many of the problems you will get well in advance. This will help you to prioritize your important things, and always see that if you fill in, if you do this first, this later and this later, then this will not be there. Your fill-ins are so many, so always take a portion of this project first, then plan for these winners, because these are very important, because these will give you real things. Then whatever the time left, then these fill-in should come. If you put this fill-in first, your jar will be full because there are so many fill-ins. Then there will be no space for projects and no space for winners. So look at this, the activities which is lying in this quadrant, you look last. Maybe you can look at first year, maybe first year, but both have to be there. Then you move to this. Now I will give you some pointers for effective delegation, and then I will take up the questions. The effective delegation is about only very few things, that you first identify the task which only you can do. Means you are, if you are not there, it cannot happen. You evaluate the rest of the task critically. So I am telling you, if you have 100 tasks, hardly 10 tasks where you are barely required. All other things can be done by other people. Evaluate the rest critically. Keep the things which you like to do. But if you are growing up and up, some liking things you have to let go. Okay, because you cannot keep all the things with you. So something which you like, but still have to let go to the people. But something which make you happy, keep always with you. So that will give you a self-satisfaction and the sense of happiness. Now, rest of the things, you identify a potential candidate or a candidate who can do this, or a potential candidate who can expand his wing and do their job. When it comes to expand the wings, means the person should be ready to expand the wings, plus he should get your support. So you identify that what is the gap and what kind of support he requires. You give the work to him, plus commit that support to him, that whenever or a regular basis, touch base with him on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, depending upon what kind of work is, and see that how he's progressing. Provide your help. If you give the work but do not support, most probably the person is not working very hard. This either fail or will take longer time. But if you continuously provide support for some time and then remove it, the things will move. Now this delegation is the most magical thing in the office life, because it creates a chain of lifting people upward. Like you have delegated something to a potential candidate under you. This person will expand his wing and try to grab this. Now because he has taken more in his plate, he has to let go something to people below him. He will also identify a potential candidate and ask, and that person will expand his wing and learn new things and take this work. That person will also let. And when you have to plan or delay something which will be at the bottom of the things, which will not be that important as the important task you have delegated to your reports. This way, everyone will be expanding the wings and moving upwards, pushing you upwards. Nothing can be so rewarding than delegation. You delegate to your next one and help out next person to delegate some of the work to the next person, and help out that person to delegate some work to the next person. There will be some risk, but I am utilizing this kind of techniques for my people. I always use such kind of things many times, and most of the time we were successful. I will say 90% of the time we never faced problem, and 10% of the time we did make some changes. We took the work out of the person because what we thought it didn't go well. But I tell you, 90% of the time it went very well. Moreover, people were so happy to take the new work. They leave their work aside. They will do it later, but let's do this first, because they feel appreciated when the new work come to them, because they know their next level of the person was doing this. Now it work will come to them. There is that the senior people are finding some potential in him, and he is more inclined to take that work and do it. And that's how the whole cycle of uplifting starts. Okay, so this is basically the last slide. So I will take up some questions here, and let's see this before I can address your things more appropriately. Let me open this here. How do we deal with email coming in while sitting in meeting? So simple, keep your alerts off so that you never realize some email is dropping. When you finish the meetings, look at the emails. Most of the emails do not require immediate response, only few mails required. Do respond to them. Rest of the email can wait, and you can respond when you have time for those mails. But do respond to the mails, do not remain silent. How to make subordinates effective? Even after giving information, they come back to us for decision making delegation and difficult. Okay, this is a little, as I said, delegation is the best way to do it. To identify a potential person, give him the work, and also tell him that what kind of support is available and what kind of support is not. There is another kind of delegation called laissez-faire, where you give the work and you trust that person, he will do it, but that person doesn't trust that he will do it. So like you were saying that he will come back for decision making. So what you do when you think that he will come back to your decision making, you make yourself absent. You are not accessible. Let him make a decision. Because he will not find you, he will take a decision. And I will see rarely your such kind of trust normally will give you some dodge you. Otherwise, I think if you have find somebody giving some work and potential, there is a history along this, and you know that the person will take a decision. Maybe he may not take as good decision as yours, but it will not be a dying situation also. So the best thing is that many people do this kind of things, and this is actually need to be trained. Some risk on some low risky items, you can try this out to make yourself actually take some bigger risk. So try out on some of the like low risk areas. Make yourself absent. the person will, because it's a time bound, the person will take some decision in your absence. He is trying to call you, you don't take up the call, or just take up the call, say I am busy, I will, you go ahead, whatever you want to do. So such kind of risk is really sometime involved. You have to take that risk. I think start with a low risk area, so that even the person did something wrong, does something wrong, you are still able to manage it. But I will say this is an art. It doesn't happen on a very first day. But if you practice it, it will, more you do it, more you learn it, and more effectively you do it. We often say, is that answer your question, Yogesh? Okay. So we often say don't fill your 100% of the time, but how to define the limit? Okay, you have to define your limit. You know that what is 100% for you. For me, 100% is 8 hours in a day. Anything beyond that is over 100%. So you plan something for 6 hours. I can guarantee if you plan something for 6 hours, your 8 hours will be filled. Because you cannot plan everything. There will be several things which will either give you distraction, some emergencies will come, you have to hold them. 8 hours is a normal day. And try to stay away from, like if you have a BlackBerry, keep it upside down. Like I tell you, when I go in the morning for play, I don't carry my mobile phone altogether with me. So for 2 hours, even if somebody wants to connect with me, will not be able to connect. The phone will ringing. It is not in front of me, so I am not intent to pick this up. When you come at home, if you see there is a call, something, you just you make a call back. Most I will say 95% or even more calls can wait your response. They don't need immediate response. So when it comes to 100%, I say 8 hours is 100%. Plan for 6 hours, 7 hours, your 8 hours will be filled. You may even overflow, it goes to 9 hours. It will not go beyond that at least. And when you are home, try to dodge everything which you are seeing that it can be responded tomorrow. So leave it. Maybe if you want, you can mark it. I will say look at your BlackBerry less frequently. For 2 hours, give a 2 hours rest to your BlackBerry. Give 2 hour rest to your laptop. Maybe after coming to home, you say, okay, I'm not going to open this. So don't open it. Until you put some kind of stuff, and subordinate also. I think the people report to you, they try to call you, you just say no and let them give them freedom to take their own decision. You just tell them, you take decision, I will take care of that. Many times I did in my life when I was working with my reports, and this person was having several tasks pending on him, and he was a critical resource. So one day I called him, you please list down all your activities which is pending on you in a notepad or in an Excel sheet, wherever, please list it down. So I give him 3 days that whenever it comes to your mind, you please list it down in your thing. So he opened a notepad, always open in his computer notepad, and whatever coming to his mind, he was writing on that. So after 3 days, we collected 25 tasks which were pending on him. Then we sit together and started ticking on the task which I think, and he also agreed that he is required to do this. There were only 7 or 8 tasks where he needs to really attend those tasks. Other things actually can be done by other people. Then we start identifying the people, the developers, the senior developers, that who can do this job. Now, many places when I say, okay, give it to this person, he was not so comfortable. So he said, no, yeah, I don't know he will be able to do it or not. But I find the risk was so low in that even if we mess up, we will still be able to correct it. I say, give it to him. I will take care of this thing. When I say I take care of this thing, I have taken the risk from my lead to on me. That even if something goes wrong, it is come to me. And with this, because person was identified by him, still he was not fully convinced, or he was fully not trusting that thing. I said, let's take a risk. Most of the time we didn't make any change. It was, well, people come out more enthusiastically to do this new job. Moreover, most of the time I find that they were doing this job first and they're assigned work later, because they find it new and more interesting and more working. I hope I have addressed up to a certain extent this. What a strategy to be followed where you as a boss leader need to learn as well as take projects ahead with a new team who has experience. Okay, the problem is that I am less experienced and the team is more experienced. If okay, if that is the case, I think your life is little easy, though it is sometimes look difficult because it is difficult to control the senior people. But I will say you never try to control those people. Don't control, basically. Never control even juniors, I will say. Try to respect those people who have more experience so they feel safe. If you try to pretend to be like, or you show them that you appear to be more experienced than them or more intelligent than them, then it will come as a threat. When it comes as a threat, they will react defensively and will protect the things, their own, because there is a danger, so they protect their territory. Now, if there is no danger, then nobody protects the territory. Okay, so instead of controlling the people, you show every time you show this, oh, you have a lot of experience, I think you can go ahead and do this, and put your plan as a suggestion. Don't say that this is a plan. Put your plan, this is what I have planned. What is your opinion about it? Because you are most experienced, I think you will be better person to talk about it. Take their inputs in the plan. If you think that their inputs are not digestible, or you think they are not genuine, what normally I do, I normally put some cross questioning and try to find the questions which are roaming in my mind. I just put them in a more polite way and see that how they justify the other things, other aspects of the same thing. I'm sure that your concern, if you present them in a little like non-threatening way, then they will try to justify or they will accept it. Sometimes it may not happen. Sometimes people are arrogant. Sometimes people are like too protective. Sometimes their previous experience is in threatened environment, so they don't trust the new environment. Even if you extend a helping hand, they still behave protectively. I will say wait. If they have come from a different environment, if they are like they have a bad experience in other environment, they will taste the water in your team first. They will taste your behavior, your things for some time before they open up and behave as you expect. So it is a hit and trial kind of things. You being a project manager in a team where senior people are working, it always happens. It is many times scenarios that your architect will be much more senior than you. Even your tech lead could be senior than you. But you being a project manager, you have to lead the project. I will say whomsoever senior to you, even junior to you, you give them more respect of and continuously make them realize that you respect their knowledge and understanding. Let the environment be safe so that as they see that you are cooperating, I'm sure the rule of reciprocation is so strong. It can fail one time, it can fail 2 times, it can fail 3 times, it cannot fail 4 times. First 3 times, actually it's not failing, people are just judging that are you persistent with this behavior or it is just a trick. One time you are polite, you are well behaved. You say, are you tricking? Or so people say that, okay, next time how you behave the same way, then the trust level increase. The third time also you behave in the same manner, the trust level further improve. Maybe the fourth time he will open up and start reciprocating your behavior. How to handle? So Arun, is that the answer, or you think that these are all soft things and definitely need some practice and some hit and trial kind of things? Maybe you have to work and see that how things and steer the things at that point of time. There is no black and white answer to these questions. How to handle someone who is, okay, thanks, good. How to handle someone who is not willing to transfer the knowledge in a transition project? Very common, very common. Transition project, you will find at least one person who will be doing this. Now, what I suggest here is try to find the reason behind it, why he is protective, why he is not transferring. Very common in an offshore, in an onshore environment, that person has a job threat, simple. Another thing is possible is that, like I explained the previous thing, that he feel threatened. If I give this knowledge to other person, then he becomes redundant in the system. He doesn't want to be redundant in the system. Most of the time, people feel unsafe when they are protected. That's the many surveys, many studies have continuously revealed this thing. The people are protective when they feel threatened, when they are unsafe. Now, how we make unsafe? The same thing which I explained in the previous questions, that you see the reasoning behind that and see that what you can do to make the situation safe. In many cases, you may not be able. Suppose it's a client person and he has a job threat because you are taking over some of the work. I think you will not be able to do much in this scenario. What you need to do, you need to work with his project managers there. But when you are working with him, never go in a complaint mode that you are not getting the things. You always show the person in positive light, saying that even if you are not getting something, say if we are not getting, maybe he is too busy, maybe he is involved in that thing, that kind of things. Always present the person in positive light. Never give a negative feeling, even if you deal with his project manager to get his buy-in or get the things done. Maybe you are making the other project manager realize that you are not getting the things, but you are also not making a complaint or bringing any negativity for that person. I think that is a better scenario. I'm not sure he will still open up and give you more support, but it will create a better environment of working than you making a complaint saying that, okay, you're not getting support from that. Many often we go very direct and say, okay, we are not getting support, and other person also know this. Actually, most of the time I have seen that if you are realizing you are not getting support, most of the time it is known to the other person. So it's a matter to give a hint and keep telling that, okay, it's not happening, but prevent bringing the other person in the bad light. That is the best way to work in such an environment. But if you have a little, like, you can influence the person, I think you always bring a positivity about him. Show him that how you are getting benefited, whatever he has given the benefits, and how you praise him because he has contributed so much despite he's contributed less. Okay, whatever the less contribution, like he has contributed 2, you show him as a 10. Not with too superlative also, otherwise it looks artificial. But making 2 to 4 can be easily, that can be made. So you give him more thanks than actually he deserves. That's create a better environment, and you can influence the behavior, because these are more behavior oriented things. How to handle if the people don't commitment. Okay, I will again say find out the reason behind what is not bringing the commitment. Many times we enforce our decision on the people that bring down the buy-in. If they are if they are not involved in the decision making, then buy-in is low. And the buy-in is low, then the commitment level is low. The best thing to bring more commitment, that let them own the things. Make them responsible, accountable for the work. Bring them in the decision making and let them own it. What happens if 3 people come together and make a decision? All 3 people own that decision, right? All 3 people try to hold, but all other people who are not part of the decision, they have no responsibility to hold that decision. So if you are having some people in team who are non-committed, who you feel that have low commitment, they don't bother about it, bring them into the decision making. Maybe facilitate such a way that they take a decision. What you want to take a decision, instead of you taking decision, they take a decision. Even sometimes that decision may not be the best decision and you think that decision is not that bad decision, but for a while you let it go, that bad decision or not so good decision. Let it go. Maybe after some time, when some result will come, you can show that result back again in the positive light and say that if instead of this decision, if we make this decision, maybe we can overcome these problems. The things will not like do and die situation all the time. In some cases it will be do and die. In that case you have to enforce your authority and take those decisions, but most of the time it is not in do and die situation. Most of the time we can wait. In those situations, let them be part of the decision making, or let them own the things on which you want their commitment. You trust, you give, say, okay, you do this, I don't bother how do you do it. You just keep me informed. Because he become accountable, responsible, there are fair chances he will be more positive. But let me tell you, people do not change overnight. People do not change overnight, and it's quite possible that first time you may not get the wanted reaction. But we need to bear with the situation for some time. We will bear with the situation, then maybe you can repeat it maybe 3 times. I will say the rule of reciprocation may fail 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, not fail in 4 times. So if you show little persistence, people just check that you are not playing a trick by doing so. Because if you change your behavior suddenly, people doubt it. Is it coming because of the real change in behavior, or there is some trick? So next time they verify, is their behavior consistent? If it is consistent, they trust it. If it is not consistent, they take it as a trick and don't commit. If third time it is again the same behavior, again you are trusting them and telling them to take the ownership, then I think they start taking that ownership and more committed. Dealing team is a most like challenging part, and at least when you talk to those people, I will tell you one thing, that I will give you one incidence of my life and then we can close this because we are going over time now. That one of the project when I took up, it was like we need to deliver the requirement document first. So we deliver we are reached to the on the day we have to deliver. But I found that 2 of the leads who were part of that at 7 o'clock, because it was at that day we need to deliver, so we stretched a little longer, and we are stretching longer after 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. They got little discomfort. They say they want to go home. The 2 leads who were working with me. And then I think pretty old story now. So I asked them to stay, and so they stay, but I see that the commitment level is low. So on that day, I didn't feel good because I was not getting that cooperation which I was expecting from them. And that day, but we delivered it, we went off. So after that, but I gave a lot of thought that what should I do to get their commitment in the project, because they are the leads and are the right hand, left hand of of you, if they are not committed, then the whole team getting the commitment from the whole team is a problem. So what I did next day, 1 or 2 days have passed. Then I call these people one by one, have a one-to-one discussion, telling them that I consider me as a right hand. And on that day, when we have to deliver at 8 o'clock, you are looking at watch and going back. I plainly telling the exact story that I am telling about my feeling, that how I felt, that I think that this delivery was important. I was looking for your commitment, but I didn't get the commitment which I was thinking. Tell me how I can do this. How can I help you so that I can get the commitment from you, and what I can do so that we make this project a success. I am fully dependent upon you because you are my right hand. You know what happens after that? There was no discussion happened. He simply come back and say, not come back, at the same point he paused for a time and then said, Vivek, I think I did something wrong. I am sorry about it. And after that, I never required to deal with this person. He was always doing his job. Moreover, when the work, I forget to give him some work or something, he was approaching me, say that the things are getting over next week, when the next work, when we are going to communicate the next work to us. He was handling the whole thing with this simple conversation with him, telling him that is how I felt, and that is how. If the approach is genuine, if you are telling the right thing, I think everybody is sensitive and think about it. This incidents give a lot of understanding to me also, that how to reach out to the people and get their commitment. Because this was a trial for me at that time. It might have not succeeded. Okay, how to handle people if we don't have commitment. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I think we are already over time, and thank you very much to all of you and for coming over here and spending time. I hope this discussion would have given you some understanding better. I think you will have some takeaway which you can implement at your work. Thanks again, and see you in the next webinar next month.